Welcome to Buzzer Sports. I'm Andrew Piluk. I'll be on the buzzer beat throughout the entire NHL playoffs, covering all the buzzworthy news in the Eastern Conference. Let's jump in. The Eastern Conference is sure to have a lot of great matchups. Let's start off in the Atlantic Division with the first place Tampa Bay Lightning against the second place wildcard team, the New Jersey Devils. Both of these teams were not in the playoffs last season, so from one year to the next, they have made major improvements and look like they're ready to prove that they're both great teams heading into the playoffs. And I mean, on paper, it looks like the Tampa Bay Lightning might be the team to beat, but don't count out the New Jersey Devils. Just looking at the regular season, the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning squared off 3 times, and New Jersey won all 3 of those matchups. So if you're New Jersey, you're thinking, okay, Tampa's a great team, but we've already beat them 3 times. They were all 1-goal decisions, but those are wins. Taylor Hall has put up MVP type of numbers this year for the New Jersey Devils, but he's only one guy. I know New Jersey does have some scoring, but look at the depth that Tampa Bay has. I mean, just starting off with Stamkos and Kucherov and Point, and they've got a lot of players that can put the puck in the back of the net. So that's something that New Jersey is going to have to look out for, a lot of scoring. And what if Tampa Bay is able to shut down Taylor Hall? You know, Tampa Bay has a pretty decent defensive core. If they can shut down Taylor Hall, Tampa might win this series a little bit faster than people think. The goaltending matchup has to go to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vasilevsky has been incredible all season, making huge saves, coming up clutch. He's been the backbone of their team. I gotta give them the edge. The Devils do have Kincaid and Schneider. Kincaid has been a good story this year, but Vasilevsky, I mean, the guy is a Vezina candidate pretty much every year now. I still think that the Tampa Bay Lightning are favorites to win the Stanley Cup. A lot of people may not agree with me, but that's just the way I see it. Game 1 is Thursday in Tampa at 7 p.m. Eastern. The next matchup I'm going to talk about is the Bruins, who are second place in the Atlantic, versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are third in the Atlantic. This one is about revenge for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This one for the Bruins is proving that they're still the big bad Bruins, the team that can take down anybody, an amazing team down the stretch this year. There's going to be a lot of hits, maybe some fights. There might be some revenge in this series as well. This is obviously a rematch of the 7-game series in 2013 where the Boston Bruins took down the Toronto Maple Leafs after trailing 4-1 in Game 7, coming back in overtime to win. Patrice Bergeron, the guy is fantastic. Looking at the season series, the Toronto Maple Leafs actually took 3 out of the 4 games. Obviously, that doesn't mean a ton because the playoffs are a whole different animal, but taking that regular season success, bringing it into the playoffs against the Bruins is something that the Leafs should look forward to. Hopefully they can continue to win, but looking at the Bruins, they're just a fantastic team. So hopefully they can show that their dominance in the second half of this season is not a joke and that they're going for that Stanley Cup no matter what. In the second half of the NHL season, the Bruins were 29-10-6. An absolutely incredible record. This team is full of depth. They're just going to win hockey games no matter what. And if they're that dangerous in the playoffs, look out. You would have to assume the goalie matchup will be Frederik Andersen versus Tuukka Rask, both great goaltenders, so some games could be decided by goaltending and it's going to be a great battle. Game 1 is Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern in Boston. Next up is the Metro Division, where the Washington Capitals in the first seed will take on the first place wildcard team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Capitals are coming into this playoffs as an under-the-radar team, even though they were first place in the Metro. The Columbus Blue Jackets have been one of the hottest teams in the NHL over the past month, so we're going to have to see where this matchup goes because I think it's really interesting. In the regular season, Washington took 3 out of the 4 games against the Blue Jackets, so that's something that they can be like, okay, we got 3 wins against the Jackets, maybe we can continue this success into the playoffs. But don't count out the Blue Jackets. They've got a lot of scoring, they've got a lot of depth. It's going to be fun to see how they match up against the Washington Capitals. I mean, just look at the big matchup between the 2 stars in the series. In my opinion, Ovechkin versus Panarin could be something in its own. They're both fantastic goal scorers. They can put the puck in the net. Both have great playmaking abilities. Ovechkin's kind of an underrated playmaker in my opinion. So this will be a fun story to watch. Lots of goals, lots of fun. Goaltending should be another thing to keep an eye on. Is it Grubauer? Is it Holtby? They're going to be facing Bobrovsky, one of the best goalies in the league, another Vezina caliber goaltender. there should be some games that are decided by goaltending as well. So that's another huge thing to look forward to. I would have to figure that Werenski and Jones, who are arguably one of the best defensive pairings in the NHL, will be a huge factor in this series. And they're going to have to be, because Washington has a lot of guys that like to use their speed, blow past defenders, and score goals. Both teams are coming into this matchup looking to prove something as well. The Capitals haven't made it past the second round with Ovechkin in the lineup, and the Columbus Blue Jackets have never won a playoff series in their franchise history. So one team has to come out on top here and prove that they're ready to go in these playoffs. Game 1 is Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in Washington. The last Eastern Conference matchup I'm going to be talking about is a rivalry matchup. This is going to be fun. The second seed Pittsburgh Penguins versus the third seed Philadelphia Flyers. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a heated, fun series. Both these teams don't like each other. Can the Pittsburgh Penguins win 3 Stanley Cups in a row? A three-peat. Could you imagine if Pittsburgh could get it done? I mean, look at them. They're the Pittsburgh Penguins. They got lots of scoring. It is possible. Looking at the season series, the Pittsburgh Penguins actually swept the Flyers, winning all 4 contests, and I think that this is going to change. You can't assume that just because of the regular season numbers that the Flyers are just going to get swept in the postseason. This is different. It's a whole different ball game, like I've said, and the Flyers are ready. They know what they're going up against. There's going to be lots of scoring in this series, in my opinion. Look at Claude Giroux, one of the best players in the NHL, also putting up MVP caliber numbers, going up against the three-headed monster, as I like to call it, Malkin, Crosby, and Kessel. Lots of goals, lots of points. This is awesome. We'll have to see how the goaltending is, but I think the goal scoring is going to be the main story of this playoffs. But again, this is just going to be so much fun. A rivalry like this, you can't miss out on it. Game 1 will be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern in Pittsburgh. So thank you guys for watching the Buzzer Sports NHL First Round Eastern Conference Preview. If you want to see more from me, go to YouTube and search Andrew Piluk Hockey. Lots more hockey content for you there as well. Make sure to also look out for the Western Conference previews. Lots of good stuff as well. Go check out the Twitter, Buzzer Sports Official, and the Instagram, Buzzer Sports Official. I'll see you guys in the next one. For Buzzer Sports, I'm Andrew Piluk.